Welcome back to benjiekimfishing, and today I'll be doing a rod review of the brand new Phenix Trifecta Lite 904, and I'm going to cover the components and specs, how these details contribute to the feel and performance of the rod, and at the end of this video give you my verdict on whether I recommend this rod for your surf fishing arsenal. And full disclosure, I am a Phenix Rods Pro staff and I did receive this rod for review. Huge thanks to Phenix for their support. Also, because the 904 has so many similarities to the Trifecta Lite 903, I'll be making comparisons of both rods throughout the video to help differentiate the strengths of both rods. So jumping right into it, the Trifecta Lite 904 is a 9-foot medium heavy with fast action and has a line rating of 8 to 15 pounds and a lure rating of 1/2 to 1/2 ounce. It's a 2-piece rod with a distinctive 60-40 split that maintains the action of a 1-piece while still being portable for transporting in smaller vehicles. One of the greatest benefits of the Trifecta Lite series of rods is their weight, and the 904 is no different, coming in at 5.6 ounces. For comparison, the 903 weighs 5 ounces. This is a huge advantage for folks throwing lures like the Lucky Craft, as heavier rods will 100% lead to fatigue. And don't be fooled by finding these rods categorized for freshwater, as the Trifecta Lite series features Sea Guide Premium T-Ring guides with frame lock technology to withstand the harshest of saltwater conditions while not compromising sensitivity and strength. I can personally vouch for this, as I've been using my 903 almost exclusively from the surf for about 2 years now, and my guides don't have the slightest hint of corrosion. While these two rods look virtually identical, there are some significant differences in rating. While the 903 is rated for throwing 6 to 12 pounds, the 904 jumps up to 8 to 15 pounds. And while the 903 is rated to throw 1/4 to 3/4, the 904 is rated to throw for 1/2 to 1 ounce. Perhaps the biggest difference between these two rods is that the 903 is a medium light, while the 904 is a medium heavy. One benefit to the 904 for me here is the 15-pound fluorocarbon I've been using is more appropriate for this rod, as it's rated between 8 to 15 pounds. While I never had any issues using 15-pound test on my 903, the truth is that with it being only rated for up to 12, I was using the rod beyond its recommended specs. The difference in power is definitely noticeable here, as the 904 has a significantly improved backbone, and I believe it will instill much more confidence when handling larger grade fish. The 904 is a medium heavy fast action rod. The fast action means that the bend of the rod is going to occur closer to the rod tip. For reference, a moderate or slow action rod will bend closer to the middle of the rod and will generally be quote-unquote noodly. The 904 is pretty stiff, especially when compared to the much more parabolic 903. While both are fast action, you can see the difference in flexibility between the medium heavy and the medium light. You do lose out on some sensitivity with the 904, but also remember that you gain a significant amount of power, and the rod does shut off faster when setting the hook. This can be the difference between connecting or missing out on a hook set, especially if you're throwing something like a Texas rig where a strong and quick hook set is super important. Also remember that the 904 is very much still a finesse rod in line with the Trifecta Lite lineup, so the rod still has plenty of sensitivity, just not as much as the 903. When it comes to casting, I was surprised that the 904 throws the Lucky Craft at more or less the same distance as the 903. I didn't feel like I was properly loading up the Lucky Craft when casting, but when I look back at the footage of me casting, you can see that the rod does have a good load to it. I wouldn't recommend this rod if the only thing you wanted to do was gain more casting distance, but at the same time, I'm happy to note that you won't be sacrificing distance with this rod either, which for me is a win. So what's my verdict? It all boils down to your preferred style of fishing and target species. The Phenix Trifecta Lite 904 is an excellent option for those targeting better grade fish and wanting to throw a heavier application within the proper limits of the rod specs. The upgraded medium heavy power, fast action, along with the ability to throw a Carolina rig up to 1 ounce while packed into a mere 5.6 ounces is an impressive feat that will allow a versatile mix of throwing jerkbaits like the Lucky Craft and swim baits with a Texas rig or jig head. The Trifecta Lite 903 still stands as an excellent option for throwing the Lucky Craft, but what the 903 lacks in backbone, the 904 fills in incredibly well, allowing us to cast up to 15 pounds, and with a slightly stiffer build should also help with securing those necessary quick hook sets when fishing structure. I do recommend this rod for the aforementioned applications, and I'm stoked to have added the 904 to my fishing arsenal, and I'll definitely be putting this rod to heavy use over the next year. Thanks so much for tuning in, and if you're new to surf fishing, be sure to check out this video I made with my friends at Save on Tackle on the 3 best surf fishing setup options based on price.